Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. Today we're going to do a custom VW street rod, and we're going to use a different car to help contribute to the build. We've got this dual engine car, and we're going to start cutting things apart and see where we go. So stick around. I got the VW bug here, and I'm going to cut the nose off, separate it from the main body. Now, if you have a Dremel or a jeweler's saw or something like that, this should be no problem. I've got a Dremel here. It does take a little bit of time to go through there, especially depending on the type of cutting wheel you have or grinding wheels, etc. Some are a lot better than others, so be picky about what you choose. Alright, we've got the nose piece separated from the main body, and I'm trying to get an idea where I want to go from here. It all comes down to trimming certain pieces off and filing and sanding and just mocking things up. So again, this is trial and error, but you know what? This is one of the fun things about doing die-cast restorations and customs, is let your imagination run wild. It's all up to you and how you think things out. We did a lot of grinding and separating and trying to file things down. We're also going to do a wheel swap, because if you look at the wheels on this base, it needs something a little bit fancier. So we're definitely going to do a wheel swap here. I've got a set of wheels from a gasser, and I think these wheels are going to be perfect for what we need to do. We've got to snip that little retaining pin that holds the old wheels in, and we may also have to file out that little channel for the axle. Let's start mocking things up for our wheel swap. Now, I noticed that the wheels fit kind of tight, so we had to do a little bit of filing on the base. And we took off those extra pieces on the bottom that look like brake rotors. So we filed all that stuff out of the way in case the car sits a little bit lower, and they just don't really suit or serve any function to anything that you're going to need for your car. So in these wheels in the front, we had to shorten up the front piece a little bit in order to get them to fit. Let's get this set up, and we'll glue those axles in place, but make sure your wheels are centered, because once you glue them in place, they're pretty much stuck there. Now, I like using the thick super glue when I glue these in place. It tends not to travel so much, because if you use that thin stuff, the capillary action will take it all the way down the axle and you'll glue your wheels solid. Not a good thing. Let's start painting the body. Now, I'm using some opaque paint here from the Redline shop. They've got a bunch of different opaque colors. They've got red, they've got blue, they got black, they got white, and yellow, of course. So, and they also got orange. So instead of doing the Spectre Flame, you can use these opaque paints. And again, I got these from the Redline shop. Sometimes you just get away from the Spectre Flame. You want to do something more opaque. So you put on a few light coats, and then you're going to let it set for a moment. While you're at it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that little bell so you'll be alerted to any future videos that come out. Yeah, we're still putting on a little bit more light coats. Now with this here, since you're not using any primer, or if you don't, you're going to have to put more paint on there. Maybe 5, 6, 7 coats, depending on how you do. Let's let this dry a bit.
A few minutes later.
Alright, that's set up a little bit, so let's continue on putting some coats of yellow on the car, and just continually rotate the car as you paint it. You don't want to saturate it, because you don't want runs, because if you get runs in there, you may be able to sand them down and buff it out, but why even go there if you don't have to? Make sure you follow the manufacturer's specifications explicitly when it comes to mixing paint. We've let that set up a bit. Now we're adding more coats of paint. You could avoid this if you use a primer on there first, preferably a light gray or even a white. That will definitely affect how your paint looks once you get it over the top of that primer. But I went ahead and didn't use the primer, so I'm going to have to put, again, more coats of paint on here to get it to look proper. Alright, we're going to let that dry overnight. Now we've got our pieces. I've also drilled an extra hole in the bottom of the base that lines up with the screw that holds the body on. You can do that sometimes, and this will definitely hold that back end of that VW body tightly on the base. I cut the back end of the interior off and I painted that black, so that's going to look nice. And this is what we got to. A really cool looking VW street rod. I like the way this turned out. This one was a lot of fun. Now I know this is a short video, but again, if you need to follow exact directions or get some guidance, check out some of my other videos on how to take a car apart, how to prepare it for paint, etc. Check out those links, watch those videos, and you'll be able to do these customs yourself. I encourage you to let your imagination run wild, folks. You're going to have a lot of fun doing this. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming to the Diecast Graveyard. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon. Alright, now you folks take care, and we'll see you again soon. We got some Halloween videos coming up here next week, so be prepared. There's going to be some giveaways. Have a great day.